You're listening to episode 22 of Present Moment. Welcome to Present Moment, Mindfulness, Practice, and Science. I'm Ted Meissner. Present Moment is a podcast with interviews, conversations, and roundtable discussions. We speak with mindfulness researchers about their newest findings published in peer-reviewed science journals, teachers about their understanding and methods as they work with students of mindfulness, authors about their books and interests, and we also speak with everyday practitioners. The website presentmomentmindfulness.com has show notes for each episode along with resource materials. Shalini Bahl joins us to speak about her social networking site, Mindful Universe. Let's say you've attended a mindfulness program. At the end of the course, you ask, now what? Where do I go to continue to practice with others and to form the social structure to help me with my practice? More often than not, you've been given a list of local Buddhist temples. And though that is a viable option for many, if you're not particularly interested in adopting a new religion, it's not going to work for you. There are, however, some online options in place to help. Shalini Bahl is an entrepreneur, researcher, and educator committed to developing and teaching mindfulness-based programs. She has been meditating for over 10 years, and her dissertation and research has focused on topics comprising self-awareness and mindfulness. In addition to completing her PhD in marketing, she underwent a professional training to teach mindfulness at the Center for Mindfulness in Medicine, Healthcare and Society at UMass Medical School in Worcester, Massachusetts. Shalini has used her PhD training and experience in business and a love for technology to co-create Mindful Universe, a social networking site to promote mindfulness. And our guest today is Shalini Bahl. Shalini, welcome to Present Moment.
Hi, Ted.
It's nice to speak with you again, and good to hear your voice. We were students together at a retreat with John Kabat-Zinn and Saki Santorelli some months ago, so it's good to hear you again.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Ted. I'm really super excited to be here on the show and to share my story.
So we're going to end up talking about Mindful Universe, but let's start by asking you about your own experiences with mindfulness. How did you first encounter it and integrate it into your life?
I would say that my first experience into the world of mindfulness was making the move from India to the United States. And I moved into the small college town in Amherst. And everything was really quiet. And I was alone pretty much. My son's gone to school, my husband's gone to work, and I was at home. I was taken away from my culture, my family, and that was my first experience of void. And it felt very uncomfortable initially. So I'm glad I didn't go to a psychiatrist and he would have probably prescribed antidepressants or something. And instead it just happened automatically. I would just sit and go deeper into what is this feeling and what am I feeling? And I naturally started breathing to slow down my mind and thought. And I would start finding deeper answers that were not normally how I think. And definitely that was my first experience into accessing my own inner wisdom. And then I started researching a little more and searched different and tried different practices, from shamanic experiences in Costa Rica, which was a near-death experience for me, to finally settling in with a practice from India, and it's called Sudarshan Kriya, which is based on rhythmic breathing. And that was my practice for a very long time. And at the same time, I wanted to start bringing my practice into my professional world. And my professional world is in the world of marketing research, academia, business. And I felt that was too Hindu and spiritual to be accepted in the broader context. So I Googled secular mindfulness and came across mindfulness-based stress reduction. So that's when I went and got the training in that to be a teacher and went through the full training. And I think that training actually deepened my own practice and helped me integrate it more and more into my work and my relationships. And it's been a beautiful journey since then. Still working at it, of course.
Every day a constant unfolding for us.
Yes, definitely.
So let's talk a bit about Mindful Universe. What prompted you to start that?
Yeah, I think it was definitely at the mindfulness-based stress reduction program. There were 40 of us in the Worcester UMass Medical School taking the program. And it's such a beautiful program that allows everyone to connect in such a intimate manner. And it's so authentic that it just creates a great deal of intimacy amongst the participants. And we're together for 8 weeks and then it just ends. And we're like, now what? So that was kind of the start. And I come from a background with social media and marketing. And so I felt like maybe I can create something that would allow all of us and other people who are going through these 8-week programs and then don't have a way to stay connected, to continue the support. So in fact, it was my teacher at the time, Zaida Vallejo. She's still a teacher at the center. And so she and I got together after the program ended and we thought, hey, let's do this. So that's how the idea came about, that this could be a place where we can continue to support each other and share resources, our experiences. And so that was kind of the start of it.
So Mindful Universe itself, for those listening to the podcast who aren't familiar with it, what is it and what do you have out there?
It's an online community for people interested in living mindfully. So it's a place to give and get support. And what I mean by that is it could be through sharing your experiences, your resources, like where can I go for a mindfulness retreat? Or if you have a question, hey, I'm falling asleep in my body scan. And, so people can sort of ask these kind of questions from other participants, or there are many teachers there as well now. We have almost 500 people. And so it's a mixed crowd of people ranging from technology geeks to mindfulness teachers to yoga experts. And so the whole idea was also, the other piece of it was creating a very safe place for people to share authentically, because a lot of social media I see on Facebook and there's a lot of rah, 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 and it's very, everything is so positive, and you kind of feel at home reading, wow, everyone seems to have their life figured. I'm the only one who's, doesn't get it, or I'm depressed and it's not right because everyone looks so happy. And the whole point is we are human and we all go through similar feelings. There are days we feel happy and we want to share that. And there are days when we are sad and depressed. And if only there could be a place where we could have that really honest conversation and say, you know what, life sucks for me right now. And not that we're looking for advice, but just being heard, being heard for and seen for who we really are. So that's kind of the intention, is creating a space like that, a social networking site where people can just show up as they are, where we can genuinely support each other. And there are many teachers as well, and we're all there to bring mindfulness into our communities. And it's kind of interesting. The other piece that makes it very unique is, in a regular sense, we're competing. We're teaching mindfulness and we're going for the same clients. But this work is so beautiful that it's a place where we can actually learn to support each other. And the more we can support each other, the bigger this work becomes for everyone.
And presuming, Shalini, that the intended audience for this is not just teachers, but also general practitioners, in the scenario you described of having gone through, say, an 8-week MBSR program, most people then are left with doing the training, continue their practice on their own. And that's difficult for some people. So how are some ways you're addressing and providing that support and that community for people on Mindful Universe?
Well, one is sending them your way, because I know you have an online practice circle, which I think is brilliant, that we can be anywhere in the world and we can still get together and practice. So I really try to promote that a lot and share it with people who are looking for a place to practice, that, hey, there's one place here that you can go. The other pieces, I think, are still developing. Some of them are just in terms of finding teachers in your area or finding other people that you could come together so people can share events. So if anyone who knows of an event that resonates with them, or it's an event that they're holding, they can come and share that on the site, and then other people can go and search the site by geographic location or the discipline and so forth. So you can share your events.
So Shalini, it's early on in the life of Mindful Universe, and I'm wondering if you have some ideas about what you'd like to see added to the site or what you'd like to see come out of it in the long term.
Well, the vision for it is really of creating a new paradigm or a new way of being in this world where we can really be supportive of each other. It's one thing to practice mindfulness sitting down, and some of us have got that down better than others. But what is really challenging, I find, is how do we take that practice into the world as parents, as educators, as business people. And I think those conversations, seeing more of those conversations take place, and this seems like a really good social networking site for people to have those conversations so that we can really start to learn and implement what does it really mean to be living mindfully. So that's one of the visions, to draw in people from different sectors of society coming together, whether they're business people or technology people, and just, from different walks of life coming together and having these really meaningful conversations. The second thing would be, again, there is so many resources amongst us. And what I really believe is that if we all come together in our very unique ways, the voice really gets amplified. And instead of so many of us working in this field of mindfulness, we have our websites and we use social media, and that's all really good. But if you could find a central place where we all start sharing the events, the blog pieces, and, having these conversations and discussions, suddenly the voice is so much bigger and stronger, so that, people are looking for it in our communities, know that there's one place they can go to and they will find all the podcasts, they'll find all the teachers that they're looking for, or slowly adding a store. I already have a Mew Market over there, which is slowly starting to add accessories and books and audio recordings that can support people's practice. So kind of becoming like a hub and seeing it more as a co-created universe, really, because it's not my creation at all. It's everyone who's there and their contribution and all of us working together that will really make it possible for us to individually and collectively start living mindfully.
What are some of the stories that you've run across and experienced yourself since you started the site that inspire you and tell you, yes, this is a good idea. This is what I want to be doing?
Well, we see people's profiles and we read people's profiles on social network sites, and it's all really good and it's very impressive. And one of the things that I've found through Mindful Universe is reading people's real stories behind the masks we wear. And they moved me so much. Like, I've read some people's stories that they've shared, and that's really the shared humanity. to me, it was so powerful to read people's real stories, because it really makes us all feel that we're okay as we are, and we're not alone in what we're going through. So that to me is a very powerful piece of the social networking side, where we can really come out and say, hey, I was a drug addict, or hey, I've had 3 divorces, and it's okay, where we can be okay just the way we are. And so that's been a very powerful experience for me. From a more professional side, I think it's been just coming out and asking for help and knowing that you will get very genuine advice here. So, just redesigning the logo for Mindful Universe. I remember I got someone to design a quick logo for me, and I posted it on Mindful Universe's forum, and it's like, what do you guys think about the new logo? And I got the most honest, brutal advice. It wasn't like, hey, in fact, my own family members were like, yeah, that's great. It's awesome. Go for it. And then I posted the forum and they ripped it apart. I mean, in a very nice and gentle way. But they were like, it doesn't quite reflect the flow and the aesthetics of the site. And that, feedback was so helpful, because I Googled, aesthetic or artistic logos, and I found this designer in, I'm going to say Slovenia, and I don't know where, but some really distant country. And I saw the designs of his logos in a different language, and I sent him there was a contact page, and I sent him information about my site, and he responded back immediately in English, thankfully. And he said, I really like your current logo, and it's people sitting together in a sangha. And he was using the words that, people, like, he was a mindfulness practitioner. And he said, what, I'm going away for a 10-day retreat right now, but when I come back, I'd be very happy to work on your logo. And I was like, wow, that, imagine this guy who doesn't even speak my language, and he's in a different country. And because of the discussion I had here, I'm now connecting with this guy over there, and he ended up making this, what I think is the most beautiful logo right now. And that's what I felt is the power of this real honest exchange, and the rich resources we have when we can really reach out to each other. So what I did after that was I started a forum which says I need help with. And so if anyone needs any kind of help with, or looking for feedback on their logos or taglines, whatever they're looking for, they can post their questions there, and we can, from a very mindful perspective, respond to that. Because that's the other piece that I feel really passionate about, is what is the mindful language in marketing? That's my field. So to me, that's really, it's close to my heart, that what does mindful marketing look like? So having those kind of conversations is, at the one end, it's supporting each other as practitioners and in our daily life as parents and so forth. And at the other spectrum, just as professionals, how can we do our business in a way that's skillful and mindful?
For those of you who are listening who'd like to see more about this, please check out the site at www.mindfuluniverse.com. And I'll be linking that on the episode page for this episode. Our guest today is Shalini Bahl. Shalini, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Ted. I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to share this work. Thank you.
Thanks for listening. If you'd like to hear more about something you've heard in today's podcast, please come visit the website at presentmomentmindfulness.com. You'll find an entire webpage devoted to this and every episode. You can comment on the episode page and find show notes and other helpful resources for your mindfulness practice. The shakuhachi music heard on Present Moment is used by permission and through the generosity of musician Rodrigo Rodriguez. His website is linked on the Present Moment website on the About Podcast Music page. Sound editing, mixing, and mastering provided by the generosity of Anthony Dominello of StructureFromSound.com. Until next time, remember, every moment you have a choice. Make it the best you can. See you next time on Present Moment.